Hey guys, welcome back. In this lecture, we will work on Ajax-like dynamic dropdowns using turbo stream and stimulus controllers. Okay, first let me explain the context that in what cases we need some kind of dynamic dropdowns. Suppose you are filling a form which is asking you to provide address information like country and state, then we can have two possible ways. Okay, for example, let's open our new user form. You can see here we also have city, state and country. So what we can implement, the first approach that we implemented here, that we can ask user to provide their country and state name in regular input field of type text that we are doing. This is fine, but the problem with this approach that you might have inconsistent data. For example, users may do typo mistakes in country and state names, and data may fail to match case sensitiveness and so on. For example, some users might type a country name for, let's say, India in all capital letters in or in all small letters or in some camel casing and all that. Okay, and the other approach suggests that provide a selected list for both country and states as individual select boxes, and this is also fine. But this approach also have a problem. User may select a state which does not belongs to the selected country. So in this case, you may feel the need of dynamic drop downs, that when a user selects a country, then in the select box display the list of states of selected country only. Okay, and that will provide more better user experience, and the same approach can be used with associated models as well. Now let's see what we will do in this lecture. We have a user model in our rails app with the attributes country, state, city, name, email and contact number, but we will only work on the state and country attribute in this lecture. Okay, so we will use the country select gem to display a list of countries, and then once user select a country from the list, then we will display the list of states which belongs to the selected country only. Okay, so let's start with this. First, open the new browser tab and search for the country select gem. Okay, and then go to the games documentation, and here you can find all the implementation instruction for your application. So you can see that we need to add this gem into our gem file. So first copy this gem and open the project directory and switch to the gem file, and into the gem file just add this country select gem, and now switch to the new terminal tab and run the bundle install. And once the bundle installed successfully, now again switch to the gems document and see how we can use the country select gem into our, sorry, the country select drop down into our form. So you can see that form dot country select, and then whatever your country attribute name is, whether it's a country code or whether it's a country, so you need to do like this. So just copy this country select and switch to the user form partial into our application. So here you can see that it's underscore form.html.erb, and here you can see that we have the country name. So what we need to do here, country select and save the form, and switch to the browser and where the application is running, and now click on the new user form again, and you can see the list of countries is appearing now into the form, but it's a very unstyled, or you can say it's a regular HTML select box. So we need to convert this into our bootstrap 5 style select box first. So switch to the form again, and here what you need to do, that to select, first provide an empty curly bracket, or here you can provide, let's say, prompt as well. So prompt and then select country. Okay, and then just to place this class into a curly bracket as well, and here now replace the control with select. So form select and form select lg. Okay, now save this and switch to the browser again and open the new form again. So when you open the new form, now you can see that select country is sorry, the country list is now appearing into the bootstrap style select box. Okay, so this is also a good point to capture, that suppose sometimes you do not have to display the dynamic drop downs, but you might feel the sense of while working in a rails app, and whenever you use the country select gem, then you might feel the need of displaying the countries into a better drop down. So you can use this approach rather than only selecting the form.country select and then input field. You will get, if you do not use this kind of customization, you will get a plain HTML drop down list. Okay, Now we need to create a stimulus controller for handling the change event on this country select box. So first switch to the terminal and generate a new stimulus controller. So switch to the terminal, and here what you need to do, Rails G stimulus and then countries. Okay, or whatever name you want to provide, you can provide like countries, country select, country list, or state list as well, but I'm providing this name as a country. So when I run this command, this will generate a new stimulus controller for me in app javascript controllers. Now open this controller and add a console log to its connect method. So switch to the project directory again and go to the app javascript controllers, and here you can find the countries controller. So what we need to do here now, console.log and then connected. Save this, because first we will check that whether we are getting this statement on to our browser console or not, or we just want to verify that our stimulus controller is connected with the DOM or not. So how we can verify that? To connect a stimulus controller, we know already that to connect a stimulus controller with the DOM element, what we need to do, we need to add this kind of attribute, that is data controller countries. Okay, and now open the form again, and here you need to provide the data controller. So you can provide like this, data, and then controller, and then here countries. Okay. Save this, and now try to see if our stimulus controller is connected with the country select drop down or not. So just to save this, and here what you need to do, refresh the page again and open the form again, and then see, then inspect the country select element and see whether we are able to see this data attribute on this select box or not. So here you can see, we can see this data controller countries. Okay, and in the console you can also see that it is connected. Okay, so now just close this, and we need to add a data action attribute on this select box because it is connected. So add a initialize method into the stimulus controller or stimulus countries controller. So switch to the controller again, and here we need to add the initialize method to add a data action attribute to this. So add initialize method to this controller, and in this initialize method what we need to do, this dot element. Okay, and then set attribute, and here we need to add data action. Okay, and now we will not call the click event. Why? Because stimulus only support click event for buttons and link, and it will provide the change event, or it provides the change event for selecting the drop down list. Okay, so we will add change, and then our controller name, that which is countries, and then a method where we will handle this change and send the request to the Rails controller. So what name we can provide here? Let's say load country states, because we will load all the countries upon sorry, we will load all the states upon selecting a country. Okay, now let's implement this empty method, that is load country states. So we can do here like this, and just keep it empty for now, because we will do rest of the things in next steps. Okay, so for now just save this, and now switch to the browser again and reload your browser again. Click on the new user form, and now inspect this select country box. So when you inspect this, you can see that a data controller that we already added, and now as soon as our stimulus controller initialized, a data action attribute which is change countries load country state is already added to this list. Okay, now what you need to do as the next thing, so when you select a country, let's alert the selected countries index. So what we can do here, alert, and then for example let's say print selected now, then show this, sorry, save this, and now refresh the browser again, and just open the new user form and close this inspect area. And here what you need to do, first close this, and now select a country, and you will see the alert statement is showing selected. Okay, now what we need to handle in the load country states method, we need to handle the selected element, or we need to get the value of selected element. So first do that. So first define a selected country const selected country, and then this dot element and dot options. Okay, this is what we are doing here. We are just trying to get the value of selected element. Okay, and that is this dot element dot selected index. This is just, again, I'm explaining that it's a plain JavaScript. Okay, so how we can get the selected country? Selected country equal to this dot element dot options, and then selected element dot selected index. Sorry, this dot element dot selected index, and then value. And now let's print this selected country into the alert box. So just write an alert statement here, alert, and then print this selected country. And now save this load country states method and refresh the form again. Okay, so if you can see here, new user, and when you select a country, let's say Australia, you will get AU. When you select another country, you will get another value. For, let's say, Bahrain, you will get BH. Okay. Now, since we display the states dynamically after selecting a country, so we need to remove this state attribute from here. So just switch to the form again and remove this state. Instead, what we can write here after the country, that you can choose, let's say, div class. Just define an empty element, that is form group, and then ID, and that is country state lists or country states list. Country states list. Save this, and now just close this div, and we do not need to do anything else here, because we will replace every time whenever a country gets changed into the form, we will display the dynamic drop down for choosing the select in this div area. Okay, now since when we select or when we choose a country from the country select list, then we need to send a request into the rails controller, and that controller will fetch all the states belongs to that country. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to add a new route here into the routes.rb. So open the routes.rb first, and into the users first define a collection method, that is, say, collection to, and whatever name you wish, you can provide that action. So here I'm providing get, and then you can choose, let's say, fetch country states, or fetch state of countries, or whatever name suits to you. So I'm using fetch country states. Okay, and now it's time to implement this method into the users controller. Okay, so open the users controller in the rails, and sorry, just switch to the controllers and open this users controller, and here at the last or after destroy action, what we need to do, def use this, and now we need to implement this method. So first we need to find the selected country. So how you can find this? So you need to match, visit the country select gem again, and here at the bottom you can find a method like this. So this is how you can find the country. Okay, so first copy this line and paste this line into here, and now we will need to replace this country code, because we will get the country code into the params. So we can check params, and then country code. Okay, because we will send this forms from the stimulus controller. Now once we get the countries, what we need to do, we need to find all the states for that country. So how you can do that, at the rate states and country dot states dot map. Okay, and then here we need to iterate through the state list of countries. So state, and then create an array here. Okay, so first we can add, let's say, state dot first, and then state 1, because it will come in the pair, like the short name of state will be the key, and rest will be the value for that state. Okay, so how we can do that here now? So we will call like MP, then Madhya Pradesh, UK, then Uttarakhand, and kind of that. Okay, so here state 1 dot translations, Okay, and here we need to provide I18 dot n dot local, sorry, I18 n dot local dot 2s, and that's it. Save the file, and you can see this locale method or translation method into here as well. For example, switch to the browser again. You can see that it is what it is getting, country dot translations I18 local dot 2s. So we need to get all the states, and now let me show you through the console. So first copy this to avoid the typo mistakes in my code. So switch to the terminal again, and now just replace this here. Okay, and now let's open the rails console. I just wanted to show you that what state values we will get. Okay, so let's open the rails console. Now let's try to get all the states of India. So how we can do that? Switch to this controller again and just copy this line. Okay, and here what we can provide, let's say the short name for India, that is IND. So what we can provide, sorry, IN, provide the IN here, and you will get the country. So this is how you will get the country details. Okay, it's all the names and translation information here and the geo information here. Now let's try to find all the states of the India. So you need to just copy this line, and this let's say states equal to, when you paste that, you will get all the states like AN, Andaman and Nicobar Island. And now for full lists, you need to print this states. So you can see that this is what we will get. So like AN, Andaman, Nicobar, Andhra Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, and so on. And we will iterate the same list, or we will display this same list into the states select box. Okay, so that's why we just implemented this method in this way. Okay, now we need to create a turbo stream template for this fetch country states method. So just copy this name and create a new turbo stream template into the app views user. So create a new file and name it as fetch country states dot turbo stream dot erb. Okay, and that's it. Now it's time to implement this method. So how we can implement this, that first we need to check whether states are present or not, because with country state select, sorry, with country select them, it is might possible that you might select a country which does not return any state. Okay, so here what you need to do, if at the rate states dot present, okay, and then just end it, and then you need to replace the, use the turbo stream dot replace, turbo stream, and then the DOM ID you need to provide here. And what DOM ID we will replace by this turbo stream? So here you can see that we added this empty countries states list. So we need to replace this ID via the turbo stream response. So just switch to this template and paste it here. And now just create a block. Into this block, just end it first, and then we need to select, add our select box. Okay, so first add like div class form group and then id, and now just add a label class. I'm just doing it here in plain HTML. So label class, then form label, and then mb2 mp3, and name here like states. Okay, and now we also need to display the select as HTML select element. Okay, and in the select first add some classes like, let's say, class form select, and then form select lg. Okay, and then the attribute name, that is user and then state. So name will be user state. Okay, and then id of the select will be user state. So id state. Now we need to iterate all the states to create options here. Okay, so how we can do that? Just iterate through states array at the rate states. dot each do, and here you need to use state, and then and this, and now you need to provide option, that will be options, sorry, option, then first value, and in the rails tag you provide the states first value here. So you can see that what are states value, like states is an array of array. So if we will iterate the all the array, so it will be state 0 and state 1. Okay, so first provide state of 0, sorry, state 0 or 0th index, and now as a value you need to provide state 1. So select this again, state 1, and then close this option tag. And that's it, save it now, and add a line break at the last. Save again. Now we need to finish our implementation of load country states method into the countries controller in stimulus. Okay, so switch to this countries controller again, and here we need to finish our implementation. And first we will define the URL here, and then we will send a request to this URL using fetch API. So how we can define this URL? So this dot URL equal to, then first the users, and then fetch country states. However, if you want to verify the state name, sorry, the path name, just run the Rails routes and fetch country states, and you will get the exact route name. Okay, country code, because we just use this country code as a params in this fetch country state method. Okay, that's why I'm providing this country code as a parameter as query string into this request. Okay, so here you can use country code as, and then selected country, just copy this name and paste it here. Now we need to call the fetch API. So fetch, and then first argument will be this dot URL, comma, and then set the headers here, then first accept, and here text v and d dot stream dot html. Okay, and now we need to handle some promises, that is then response, response.text, and then html, sorry, turbo dot render string message, and then pass this html to this method. So render string message and then pass html. That's it. Save the file now. Switch to the browser and open the new user form. So switch to the browser, and sorry, it's a country select gem. Now open this application page and click on the new user form. Okay, here you will see that we removed the state attribute from this form. Okay, so now what will happen? If we select a country, then it will load all the states for that particular selected country only. For example, if you select let's say the first country, which is Afghanistan, you can see that all the states of the Afghanistan has been loaded as a drop down. And here you can see into the terminal that after selecting a country, a new request has been sent to users fetch country states, where country code is AF, and the request is coming as turbo stream, and we are getting this country code parameter and then getting all the states. And let's say now choose the India. Sorry, this is the states. Let's go to the country and choose the India. And when we select India, you can see all the states of the India are listing into the select, sorry, state select box. Okay, if you change the country, now you will see that states array has been changed, or states list has been changed. If you again change the country, you will see that again the state list has been changed. Okay, and that's what we want to do. Now in the similar way, you can implement any kind of dynamic drop down that we previously implemented using Ajax and jQuery since Rails up to Rails 5 and 6. Now we can do this using Turbo and Stream. Okay, so we are done with all these things. Now let me summarize that what we did in this lecture. So first we added the country select gem to load all the countries list, and then we change into the form that we remove the state attribute from here and we just added a empty element with id country state lists. Okay, and then we generated the stimulus controller where we initialize the data action attribute for handle the change event on country select list, and then we add a method to load all the respective or the all the selected country states. Okay, and then we implemented a route and action into the users controller, that is fetch country states. And we I also showed you on the console that how you can get all the states of a country if you have the country using country state. Okay, and this is the template that we implemented for our turbo stream erb. Okay, so just try this thing at your end, and if you wish you can try the same thing with associated model records as well. Like if your form contains multiple association where one association depends on another, so you can implement that flow in the similar way. And that's all we need to do for implementing the dependent dropdowns using Turbo. Hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned and let's meet into the next lecture. Till then, Tata, goodbye, take care, stay safe.